Hi guys, welcome to the Hmongipino Podcast, bringing you love, culture, and having fun to your life.
Yeah.
I'm Danga,
I'm Impact.
and welcome to our channel.
Welcome, everyone. We just want to give a shout out to our sponsor of the day, Boundless Goodz. Thank you so much for your support and love. If you're interested in new and used item, make sure you check out Boundless Good on eBay. And we just want to also give a big thank you and shout out, right?
Yeah.
To Summer Lore from Moon's Lullaby. She's an amazing artist and graphic designer.
She created our lovely logo.
She created our logo, and we have Bunii Music.
Nicco Marble.
Shout out to him too.
Shout
Thank
out.
you so much for
You can
creating.
find his music
Yeah.
on Apple and Spotify. Just look up Bunii Bunii, Bunii.
Yes. And he created our music for our channel as well. So.
Yeah, our intro and our outro.
Okay, so we'll also always do a check-in. So why don't we start with that? Bubba, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's very hot in Long Beach. It is hot in here.
It is hot. I'm gonna be sweating kind of a little bit throughout the podcast, but enjoy it.
But I'm doing pretty good. I feel like this year is going by so fast. Like it's going to be August coming up next week
that's
or in a
right.
week
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh.
So I feel like time is going by so fast.
Yeah.
And we're just flowing through our episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I hope you're enjoying the time though.
Yeah. How are you, Bubs?
I am doing okay. I woke up early today and I went fishing and I caught 3 halibut. Not legal side, but it was fun. And I met another person that was fishing and I helped them fish and it was fun too. So yeah.
Sounds like a fun summer.
Sounds like a fun summer so far. I got back into saltwater fishing, so it was interesting. But yeah, anyways, I'm doing okay. I'm excited for the summer to slowly ease off, but I'm enjoying the summer so far. So today we thought it would be cool to talk about hip hop because hip hop was such an important part in our relationship, right?
Yeah.
We both fell in love with hip hop at a different time and for different reasons. So we thought it would be great to kind of just talk a little bit about hip hop and where we've been, right, and where we are now with it, and also maybe what's in the future for hip hop, right?
I love how we're dressed for our hip hop episode.
West Coast, yeah.
I got my DJ shirt on. Shout out to the Barbarians for gifting me this awesome shirt.
Right, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I thought I will do the first question, right?
Yeah.
So, Bub, what's your relationship with hip hop?
I love hip hop. I think hip hop was my first love, just to reflect back. But I do feel like it's a love, and it's it's like a relationship. You're going back and forth of you love it so much, and then there's times when you don't love it, and there's times where it makes you feel creative, and sometimes it gets you through love and it gets you through the pain. So I love it so much, and I think I love the creativity of hip hop and everything it stands for. How cool the aesthetic is and the pioneers that came before. Deep down, I love it, but it's a roller coaster for me. But mostly love.
So your relationship with hip hop is all love.
Yeah.
Explain.
It's mostly love.
Like, well, how did you? What's the love of hip hop that got you to even love it? Like, was it the community part of it, the art side of it, music? I guess people too, right? Like
when I first,
I guess I will ask you that.
It was music first.
Music, okay.
Yeah, my mom introduced me to hip hop in the 80s, 90s, and yeah, I think that was the first moment I loved it. Mostly that. But then I got into the dance, and then I got into the history of where it came from, and
So music first.
yeah,
Oh,
music
interesting.
first. But I also feel like it saved my life in a lot of ways because I'm not, like I said before, like I'm not a very extroverted person. So a lot of my feelings are inside, and hip hop was a way for me to express myself through dance, through art, through fashion, through music.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So music and then dance for you then, if
Yeah.
anything. You know the interesting part for me, I guess I would say something is it's true too. Like hip hop is like a relationship, right? I always tell myself this, that the person who takes hip hop away from me, I will marry them. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, I guess I will express that to you right now, is that like I really knew you were the one when like I could give up hip hop. That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. So that was something like I loved hip hop so much growing up, and it was such a big part of my life. And of course, my relationship with friends and family was important too. You know what I mean? And like, but I always thought about that. Like it was like you sacrifice a lot of stuff for hip hop sometimes. So for me, I guess I would share that to you and let you know that is that.
Oh, I took you.
No, it was not even like you took me away. It was like you're the physical form of hip hop for me.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
that's
So-
so cute.
Not to be corny, but I guess I would share that to you. I just thought about it. I don't know if I ever told you that, but
No,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
I love you on that. Okay. All right.
So, Bubby, what's your relationship with hip hop?
So I fell in love with the dance first, I think, compared to you. You said music was what made you fell in love with hip hop. I feel like for me, a part was the opposite. I mean, I heard hip hop music before, but what did I fall in love with music or hip hop? I don't think I did. I think it was my first experience of like the windmill, or the first experience of a 1990 or the air swipe. Like those were the wow factor where I feel like when I did the movement, it made me feel cool and made me feel like I knew what hip hop was about, right? Like, cause peace, love, unity, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I found peace with myself, and there was fun, you know what I mean? And there was love. So definitely the movement first, but after that I did discover the hip hop music, and I would literally went straight into enjoying and loving hip hop. At least for me as a Hmong American, when I started breaking back then, we weren't really breaking to hip hop, right? We were breaking to a lot of like trance music, you know. So I mean, back then I feel like hip hop was still kind of, majority of the time was still kind of underground, right? It was not too mainstream yet, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting, you know what I mean? Like I first discovered breaking, people was breaking to trance music. I thought it was interesting, but it was also because house dance, right? Or like party dance, So, so yeah, that's my relationship to hip hop in terms of falling in love with hip hop. It was definitely through the movement of hip hop dance, right? The art of dance.
Can I ask you what years was that? What was it? Early 90s or late? Oh, yeah, it's probably.
Well, like I mentioned another podcast, I seen hip hop dance in the early 90s through my older siblings. So I feel like I already kind of gravitate to it, like liking it because I thought it was cool. And then definitely later on rediscovering it in my early teens. Yeah.
Something that comes to my mind is like when you think of the words hip hop, right? Hip and hop, and you think of like the hip music, the popular music that's like popular right now, or like at that time, right? So then I think about when I first fell in love with hip hop, and my mom was like, it was a lot of what was popular back then. I mean, my mom used to have CDs. She had like big old rolling things of like a bunch of CDs. That was like her, CD rack.
CD rack.
And I mean, the earliest that I can remember of a song that she made me dance to was Tootsie Roll. But it was like so popular. It was like the dance
Party
back
dance,
then.
though,
Yeah,
right?
it
Party
was
dance.
like there was like that the dance that everybody was doing,
Yeah.
and even though it wasn't appropriate for little kids like me at
Yeah.
the time, but that made it so fun and it was so
Yeah.
popular.
See, I think that's something interesting, right? Because I know for you, growing up as a Filipino American, it was different, right? Like
Yeah.
you experienced music and dance in a different way. Like
Yeah.
for me, as a Hmong American, I mean, where I grew up, it was, I didn't get that '90s hip hop right off the bat. You know, where you got that party dance. You know, like we weren't introduced to that because we weren't. I would say, well, maybe ones because there were the gang violence was heavily happening during that time, right? In my my community during the time. But I feel like technology too.
Yeah.
Like we weren't exposed to that yet. You know what I mean? Like I remember you keep asking me about, did you see the TV show? No, I don't remember that because I didn't have a TV that could stream that type of show, right? So I will say it's interesting to hear that from you because it's kind of like showcasing. Well, I'm kind of like experiencing hip hop in a different way through you, everything, right? Because and one is maybe is the different way each culture kind of experience hip hop, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because like for me, like I said, I love the dance for it because back then I feel like everyone was into trance music for some reason during that time, you know, and I'm the trance music that back then was not the trance music now. You know what I mean? I would say that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was interesting to kind of see that, right? Because I know for sure your background and falling with hip hop is different because maybe it is a Filipino culture too. You know, like when I go to a Filipino wedding, I know the music is so dope. It's different.
Filipinos love to
Yeah,
dance
yeah,
and they
it's so-
love to sing and
It's
they
so
love,
dope.
Yeah.
Like I know it's a party vibe. Like
Yeah.
I see that. You know, I see the party vibe. And like I'm not saying anything wrong with a Hmong wedding. I'm just saying that we don't have that. We don't understand. We didn't get that vibe quick. You know what I mean? When we're one is through cultural vibe too. Culturally, we're a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but now it's different. I mean, obviously everyone. You know, the music it's gonna be a lot of hip too, like hip hop, right? But you know, I'm just saying, I thought it was interesting, culturally,
Cool.
how we discover it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's also based off our background too, right? So Danga, we'll talk about a little bit about hip hop and how we found it and what our relationship with hip hop. I'm pretty sure we both learned a lot through hip hop, right? So, what's one or two or three, you know, lesson that you learned through hip hop that you value, you know, for yourself as a hip hop head?
Those things that I value
Yeah.
that I still use today
Still today, or or you know, sometime it doesn't.
forever.
Right?
I think for me, not a lesson, but the values and what hip hop stands for really resonate with me, and I appreciate it. The peace, unity, love, and having fun. I think just the unity part of bringing people together and whatever it is through dance, through music. Like for me, I still use it because I'm a DJ, and as a DJ, you want to bring people together. You want to play music so they have fun. I think those are just those values are things that really stood out to me that made it different from other art forms or other music.
Yeah.
There's something so creative about hip hop and how it makes people happy and energized and uplifted. I think those really resonate with me.
I like that. So you value pretty much the motto of the mission statement, what hip hop stands for, right? Peace, love, unity, having fun. I hear you. I think that's something that I feel like as a hip hop head, if you truly discover what hip hop is and love it, that's something you truly value as well. So I hear you. I value that too, and that's a good lesson that I feel like is almost kind of like not me a lesson where you could tell someone and they learn it. It's actually you had to go experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't teach that. I would say you can never teach that to anyone or that part of hip hop. Like everyone had to go out there and experience that part of hip hop for themselves somehow, some way, in order to truly feel part of what the magic of hip hop is. You know. So yeah, I hear you on that. Mm-hmm. For me, I'll say at least for me, I'll share a little bit. At least for me, I think it's great to be able to create something out of nothing. That's something that hip hop gives you, and at the same time, I feel like gives you that confidence to really understand creating something out of truly nothing, right? Like Underground Flow, for example, my brain crew. It literally just came from a bunch of teenagers, you know, who loved hip hop, loved breaking, and came together and just created a crew, you know, and didn't know where it was gonna go. Obviously, we learned and grew as we kind of ventured through our journey as a crew together, you know what I mean? Because we have lots of flaws, right? It's just like any other crew. We have flaws and great stuff. When we learn, we grow, we lost, and we won, you know? So I feel like hip-hop gave us the ability to create something out of nothing. And Underground Flow has been 23 years plus now, you know? And it started from just a bunch of people who just want to be together, right? Uniting, right? And having fun together, right? Just like you mentioned, right? Doing what they love. And look where we're at now. You know, we have people travel the world, compete, won the world championship. You know, Logan Logistics is in the Olympic. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. So, yeah, that's something I want to share that I love about one lesson that I learned and I would love to share. And the other one, I'll say this too. The other one is the ability to create who you want to be. Because I feel like my mom and dad probably would never be able to create impact by myself. Right? This persona, or this b-boy, or this person that I have created who I wanted to be is truly an authentic self of who I am. And then I'm still grown too, right? It's like I get the ability, I have the ability to mold it, change it, grow it, you know, and yeah. So I think that's something I really do appreciate about hip hop is the ability to create who you want to be and create who you want to be.
Yeah. I feel like it reminded me of something how it does take you to like your most human authentic self. Like it's like when you create yourself, it's something that AI can't reproduce or it's something that comes from your soul and
Come on, Drake trying to recreate Tupac. Come on, man.
You can't.
You
the
can't
essence
do that.
is like the essence can't be duplicated and it gets you to it's like so human. It's like a human thing to be able to create yourself in that way. I don't know how to explain
That's
it.
magical. That's true.
But yeah.
That's true. I hear you on that.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
I really love something that I do love about hip hop is the not like the freestyle part, the things that happen in the moment that can never be duplicated. It's like when you're in the moment, like if I'm DJing or something and then I happen to do a mix and I was like, oh my, I didn't think I could do that. And then it's like those happy mistakes or like those awesome mistakes that happen.
I mean, that's true because I will say this too as a b-boy, as a breaker, all my signature movement, majority of them were created on mistake.
Yeah.
Like, and then that's usually where you find true, authentic self or creative movement that works for you. Because usually when your body or when you actually make mistake, that's you creating who you are, I think. So I hear you on that. Like the mistakes are usually the most beautiful parts. And if you know how to mold it and change it to something that is actual and like repeat it to make it to the point where it's something, right? Like creating something out of nothing, right? That's what we're talking about too. Right?
Yeah. So, and then even though like, let's say you're dancing and you practice a certain move over and over and over. And of course but like at a jam in the moment with the people that are there, or like it's that round to battle, and then the music drops, that track drops, and then all the stars align, and then like that's the moment that's created that can never be duplicated. It's like that's where the magic happens, and I think that's such a magical part of hip hop.
That's true. I hear you on that.
Right? Like everything, like all of the things align.
Those are some movement or some moments you can't recreate, and some majority of the time you just really have to be there to experience it.
Yeah.
And those moments happen differently, but with the same feeling, though, right? If I had to say, right? Like like going to a concert, like you will never experience that feeling unless you went to that concert. But you might be able to experience that hip hop feeling going to a breaking jam and seeing something almost as what do you call it? Amazing, or like what's the word that you were using, like magical. Right? Yeah, magical, because that hip hop magic moment could happen everywhere in a different form. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of boundaries pushed, or levels unlocked in certain moments in hip hop, or in a hip hop journey, or in that hip hop experience.
That's right.
It's pretty cool. That's why we love it so much.
I know. I mean, I still love it. Speaking about loving hip hop, do you think your love of hip hop is still the same today?
That's a good question. Yeah. I do love it. I do love the art form. I think my love for hip hop, when I first started, I was like dancing all the time, like when it was popular. And now that I'm older, I'm not dancing all the time. So, and then like the music's changed a little bit. So, it's a little bit different. But when certain things come out that reminds me of the essence of hip hop, it reminds me that I still love it the way you do. Some things that come to mind are like the verses with the Locks and Dipset.
Yeah,
made me so excited. Like it was like during the pandemic, and like listening to hip hop now, I'm like, oh, I can't relate to it. I'm not at the clubs listening to that music, so I don't feel energized. But when I see, like old school, like things like the elements of hip hop coming together, and then seeing that, or even like the Kendrick and Drake beef, made me so excited.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah. Like it's that hip hop competition.
Yeah,
right? That kind of
still the essence of.
Yeah, it comes in a different way, but still the same, right? That's what people are saying too. Like, it actually make hip hop better. Yeah, you know what I mean, and rejuvenate hip hop too. Yeah, in that some way, some form. So I hear you. Competition is such a big part of hip hop. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you don't win, you don't lose, you'll never learn how to be better. So, I want to speak on that because as a competitor myself in the hip hop culture, in the breaking element, at least, right? I lost many times, but I also won some of the greatest battle because I lost many times. Yeah. So, I don't know. Add that to that. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Nice. Cool, man.
What's something underrated in hip hop, you think?
Right now,
something underrated.
That's an interesting one. I feel like I don't know. It's interesting. What's underrated? I mean, I feel like when I think of that, I feel like a lot of just the community events are underrated. You know what I mean? Like right now, hip hop is so big now. You go to not just dance event, but you go to like music. And you go to any source of hip hip-hop event, it's pretty big in the mainstream, but like the community events are so underrated. You know what I mean? Like, if you really want to experience like hip-hop and what it stands for, it's there. Go to the community events, and the community events are where you're going to discover and experience what true hip-hop is. You know, because a lot of the big events, nothing bad about them, they're great, but like it's a show sometimes, so it had to be run in a production way, right? So you don't get to see the moments of flaw, like you say, right? Like like I went to Summit recently, right? This past weekend, and there was a moment that the music died,
Oh no.
right?
Uh-huh.
And it was a song that everyone knew. Everyone just kept rapping. Like all the crowd was just rapping, like rapping the lyrics, and the b-boy was still breaking. Like you would never see that happen at a main event, you know, I mean, or a popular, like, you know, mainstream hip hop event, right? Like that was that I thought that was magical. I don't think that would ever happen again. You know what I mean? Like it was dope to see everyone just rapping, you know, the crowd rapping and clapping at the same time, so the b-boy could still dance. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. And it went on for at least 2 rounds, an extra 2 rounds, and after that it had to stop because, you know, obviously the music wasn't going no more. So yeah, so, you know, stuff like that. I would say underrated. It's probably like just a community events right now. So I would say for people who can support, please support the community event as much as you can, because that's where you would find true hip hop.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't find him at the main event, at the mainstream events. Yeah, so like, you know, if you are, you can make sure you support the community events, because that's where you truly will find the magic of hip hop. I would say, you know.
Yeah. Not just in events, but I feel like at the clubs too.
Oh yeah, for sure. The party.
Yeah,
That's
the
where party life
parties.
is at.
Yeah, being
Yeah,
present.
I hear you.
Can you learn it through TikTok?
I'm not gonna say you can't, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you never know. I don't know, right? Because hip hop could also evolve into technology where it makes people fall in love with hip hop too, right? I don't know, but I mean, to me, also, I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to be open minded. That's it. I could totally be a hip hop head right now and just trash talk about the social media, how it is, but I also trying to be open minded, because you never know. Hip hop could evolve and transform itself to be somewhere in that realm too. I'm just saying, but but I honestly think hip hop is something you have to experience.
Yeah,
you can't watch.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm just saying, you never know. Yeah, but you never know. I'm trying to be open-minded, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like, oh,
thinking about,
I don't know.
The elements again, or like the values, like peace, unity, love, and having fun.
Yep.
Of course, there's having fun. Maybe I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to. If I could be really honest, I'd like, yeah, of course, it's something you have to experience. But sometimes, like right now, I don't know how crazy technology could be.
Yeah.
Right. Like, damn, my hip hop could evolve itself into AI. You never know. So like, I can't. Like, look, like we were just talking about Drake earlier, how he made Tupac rap in his diss track. That was whack. I think it was whack because you can't feel the essence of Tupac, and you can't do that. I don't think it just doesn't feel right. But like, I'm just saying, you never know, right? Like, I'm just keep it open minded, because I don't want to say that you have to do that.
But I always think about, of course, like AI is coming, and of course AI could never duplicate, but they could do something. Yeah. And do you think was Drake's Tupac and Snoop versus not good because it was whack? Like, let's say if AI created like a dope track and it sounded really, really like the artist, could he have?
No, well, it's not even that. Like, Snoop Dogg is alive and he still use AI. Snoop Dogg. Like,
yeah, that's
I don't
like,
know. I think that was kind of whack. At least I think that, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's not talk about Drake. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. So,
okay.
What's the last thing you want to talk about, Bubs? About hip hop right now. I'm talking about
what is the future of hip hop?
Future of hip hop. What I see the future of hip hop right now. I feel like just how everyone's evolving in life. I feel like hip hop is evolving in life as well, right? You watch hip hop evolve through the MC, how MC have their platform. You watch the DJ, and you see how DJ have their platform, you know. And now you see the B-boys and B-girls. You see them; they have their platform now. Like, multiple elements within hip hop is just evolving to meet the demand of society and also help the demand of society. But I think that's why I'm thinking right now, because in order to be competitive and great, hip hop has to evolve, and at the same time, hip hop also has to be competitive. You know what I mean? In that way, and that's the only way for growth. And because that's what I've experienced through my hip hop journey, is that growth and continue to be, one is be authentic, be who you want to be, but at the same time, like learn how to grow and battle all the battles that you have to battle, you know, like breaking right now, being in the Olympics is huge.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? It's huge. So like look at the future of that, you know what I mean? Like the future of the movement of dance and hip hop, it's gonna go far. You know what I mean? Because hip hop dance has already been on TV and been on screen and everywhere. But now this is the competitive form of dance that you get to see the athletic side of it and the artistic side of it in a different way. And hopefully the mainstream and just a general audience will understand how powerful it is too. You know, it's as great as gymnastic and even greater probably, you know what I mean? Because it's done correctly with hip hop.
Right.
I mean,
right.
If you've been to a hip hop event, and you did not have fun. I don't know what's going on because it's a party. You know, it's a party. You really think about it, every event you go to is a party. I think that's so. Yep, that's my prediction of hip hop is that it's continuing evolving.
It is evolving,
and it will still keep its essence. Because there's people that will still fight for it. So,
yeah,
that's all. At least that's what I think the future of hip hop will be. Is it will be evolving to keep up with the mass and support the mass.
I worry that the future of it might be watered down in a way. If it's evolving and like changing with the times, it's not. I don't know. I feel like it gets watered down a little bit. Like,
I could see
like
that.
it going to the Olympics. So great. It's so great in this big, massive platform. But does it take away from the essence of it? Or
I think it is. It's going to take away from the essence. Because you got to see how it is for the MC too. Like it took away from the MC when it became mainstream, right? Yeah. There's going to be a category of mainstream hip hop. Mainstream, straight up mainstream hip hop, like mainstream rap music. You know what I mean? Like or at least what I think people consider hip hop, right? So I feel like that might happen to breaking.
I think about like too, you know DJs too. Like DJs are able to DJ online, like on TikTok, on Twitch, and it's not. I mean, it's not the same if there's not you're not in a group of people, but you know they're able to make a living off of it, being able to play music through the airwaves. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. But does it seem a little watered down? It seems a little bit because it's like I don't know. It's not the same as it is when you're in person too. But that's where the future is going, right? I mean, and then there's always like the talk of like new school versus old school. Like old school heads will always go like in it and like this is the true essence of hip hop, or like this is where it came from, and it feels so potent. Like the hip hop culture is so potent back then, and then like you talk to someone now loving hip hop, like it's not as strong as it was 50 years ago. But you know,
do you think that's only because you don't expand with what hip hop is going? I'm only asking that. You know, because like how you mentioned earlier, like there's like stuff old school are stuck in the past. You know what I mean? Like because at least I'm speaking on behalf. Like I feel like there's movement right now that is being done in the dance that some of the OGs don't understand fully because they don't. Yeah, it wasn't creating their time, so they don't understand. Yeah. One, maybe the difficulty, or maybe the effectiveness of what it's, you know, like that's all I'm just saying only, but you never know. I just don't know, right? Because like, just like iPhone, right? Like the iPhone 1 is super out of date. In order to keep up with it, like you actually also update yourself. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Only,
but you don't reminisce about the first iPhone.
I don't. But like I'm just saying, like, you know, that I feel like that's what hip hop is. You have to be update and relevant, right? That's what.
But people are always still going back. Like we're going back to vinyl, or we're going back to I don't know, you know how the old school
ways.
The old school artists are coming and throwing out tours and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I heard Missy Elliott's tour is like amazing.
It's classic. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the reason why is because I at least think that the fans and the people that love that type of music are the people that are able to make money now,
Mhm.
right? So they're able to support the artist in a different way. So I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
oh, with the new,
So let me ask you a question.
yes,
If you were
yes.
growing up in this generation, would you still love hip hop?
Will I still love hip hop in this generation?
Yeah. Like
Maybe.
if you were dancing now.
Yeah, I think I'll still love hip hop. But it will be totally different. I will love it in a different way.
Do you think you would still be a b-boy?
I don't know. I'll hope, but at the same time, like, not. I don't mind being a rapper because I mean, you can now. I feel like there's more space for different ethnicity to be, I guess, popular or do make it in rap music or the different element of hip hop now, right? I'm just saying. I feel like breaking was always something that like I feel like was always more inclusive than a lot of the other elements from my experience. At least my experience, because I done break more. I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't want to be saying stuff that, but I'm just saying like, because I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't mind being a rapper. That's all.
I think it's
Rap.
you know when you said like breaking was more inclusive, like a few
don't want
seconds ago.
people
But
think that.
I thought
I'm just
about
saying.
I just thought about
Breaking
the other
is pretty
elements like
aggressive.
graffiti and DJing and but
Let me correct
here's
that.
what
Let me correct that. Breaking is I'm not saying that. Hip hop is really inclusive. It's unity. So let's
yeah,
correct that.
see,
I'm just
you
correcting
know what
that.
I thought about was the building in downtown with all the graffiti.
Yeah, yeah.
It just reminded me, like, I don't know about that community, but there is a community and they're down for each other and they probably are inclusive with each other. And to be
Yeah, I
able
know.
to create, you know, each artist do like a different floor and to create something like a building like that, like a piece like that, I thought that's pretty magical too. But it's like, they're not, you know, it's not just breakers. There's all the other elements that have their own community that resonate with each other too.
Yep, I hear you on that, Bubba. Hearing that.
So-
I feel like the hip hop future will be bright because I feel like we have evolved to the point where all the elements have its platform. So I hope one day, if anything, I hope the future of the hip hop culture will be all the elements will be on the same platform, same level. Everyone's getting paid the same amount. You know what I mean? Celebrating and partying together in one huge, extravagant party event that makes sense for hip hop. So
Yeah, and I
That's
love
all.
I love how
yeah.
all the cultures experience hip hop in their own way.
Yeah,
Like all
yeah,
the
I agree.
places have their own rappers,
Yep,
their
yep.
music,
Yep.
their sound, their dancers. Everyone
Yeah.
still loves it, and they experience it a different way from how we
100%. Like-
experience it. So it's gonna live forever.
Yeah, I agree.
It might not look how we experience it, but the essence of
It's
it
still
will
gonna be
still be
around.
there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's end the show. Yeah, you ready? Before we end, but we usually always end the show with like a message, something that we'd like to leave the audience. Bub, you want to start or you want me to go?
You could go first.
What's your lesson? Oh, okay. My lesson is to not be afraid of making mistakes because we talked about that in this episode. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because your mistakes actually are there for you to learn about your authentic self, and that's where you're gonna find your magical self creations and moments. So cherish the mistakes and make it into something bright and big.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that message. Well, something that really resonated with me that we talked about is to create yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Create yourself, and whatever that may look like, take things that you love and things that you stand for and wear it proudly. Create yourself and love yourself.
I hear you on that. Thank you so much, y'all. That's all we're gonna talk about today about hip hop. Hope you guys learned something. If you like what we talked about today, please share it, subscribe to our channel. We're gonna keep throwing out more episodes for y'all. And thank you so much for everyone who have subscribed or have left us some great positive message. We really truly appreciate all of you.
We love you and appreciate you.
We love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Hmongipino out.